Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea, and I hope you've all had a fantastic week, up to this point at least. Right, like I said, I was away for just about a week down to the Yorkshire Dales, so this is where most of the meals we had were this week, so I'm just going to show you that, and I've also popped in some video clips when we were away and some pictures and that kind of thing, so if you're interested, hang on till after the meals of the week and you'll see just bits and bobs of me away and what I was up to and that kind of thing. Right, so let's get into our meals of the week this week. Started off on Sunday, guys, and we ate at a wee place called the White Rose. Now, all of these places are just traditional English village pub grub. It's absolutely fab. So I had steak pie this night, guys, and as you can see, the steak was absolutely, it was amazing. And this is Monday morning at breakfast in the accommodation we were staying in. And it's just your typical English breakfast. Bacon, sausage, tomato, black pudding, mushrooms and some baked beans. Second night, guys, we had tea in a place called the King's Arms. Now, if you're a fan of the TV series All Creatures Great and Small, you might recognise this. This was used for the filming of the TV series this was the Drovers in the TV series, and most of the filming done in here. And it's lovely. They've kept it, quite traditional. Beautiful. And tonight, guys, I had fish and chips. Fish chips, some garden peas and some tartar sauce. And Tuesday, guys, this was the breakfast we had. And the next night we went to the Crown for tea. Now, all of these places are in the wee village where we stayed. And I had chicken pie, mashed potatoes and some root vegetables. Wednesday, I really wasn't feeling like a big breakfast, so I just had some cereal, some fruit juice, some fruit and some toast. And in the evening, guys, I went for a burger and chips. This was also in the King's Arms. And Thursday morning, guys, this was my breakfast. Delicious. Black pudding, sausages, bacon, baked beans. I didn't have any mushrooms or tomato this morning. And in the evening, I had fish and chips again. I just can't stay away from it. And we also had some Bailey's cheesecake, which was fabulous as well. Very, very naughty. I don't usually have sweets, but I really enjoyed this. In the morning, guys, I just went for toast. I wasn't feeling like anything too heavy. And in the evening, I had lasagna, and a wee bit of salad and some chips. This wasn't that great, actually. And on Saturday evening, guys, I had pie again. Now, if you're ever in the area, or if you ever find yourself down this way, I highly recommend the Hawes Fish and Chip Shop. It's incredible, and by far, one of the best fish and chips that I've had from a chip shop. So yeah, so this was us just arriving. This was the wee village we were staying in. It's called Askerig, and it's in it's in the Yorkshire Dales in the north of England, and I absolutely love it here. You really do feel like you've gone back 300 years, and we really appreciate that. I'm a big fan of traditional sort of places and quaint sort of wee villages. I'm not really into sort of modern stuff. I much prefer these types of old villages and old guest houses and inns and bed and breakfast rather than, your brand new spanking hotel type places. Now, this is where we were staying. It's called Sykes House, and it's slap bang in the middle of the village, and it's across from St Oswald's Church. So, we had that view from the bedroom window. The church is 15th century, so it's really old. This wee village, it's got lovely cobbled streets and a wee cobbled marketplace, and it's still got its original market cross and village water pump. It's all still here, all still here. The B&B has gone under loads of changes over the years. It used to be a family home, and then it changed into a hotel. Now it's it's got a thriving village store, and it's got a tea room, and it's got 2 large letting bed and breakfast type rooms, and one of which we were staying in. It's also got a nice courtyard in the back as well. So this is it. So I just thought I'd give you a wee room tour. It's pretty basic, guys, but like I say, it's filled with this sort of old antique furniture, which I really appreciate, and I would much rather have this than up to the date, brand spanking new, modern, everything matching. It really does nothing for me. So yeah, I just love this style. And my own home is actually very much in this style as well, my own furniture. So this is the view, guys, and that's St Oswald's Church across the road. Like I say, this is 15th century, so yeah, really old. And I even like, you know, the bathroom door, it says lavatory on it, which I got a chuckle at, you know. It's wee things like, wee quirks like that that I really do appreciate. This is our bathroom. Pretty small, but, you know, it's got everything you need. This bath was massive. And then you've got your wee shower. And all these beams and things are all original. You know, the house is dated back to 1687. So like I say, it's the original beams, original fireplace in the room. I just love it. And this shortbread, guys, your welcome tray is refreshed every day. And she left this shortbread every single day. And she makes it herself, and it's beautiful. This isn't really a highlight of the trip, guys. I just thought I'd show you because it's somewhere we go every time we're down. It's a wee farm, and it's got a shop and a cafe. And it's got some animals as well you can go and see. There's some llamas here. I've tried to speak to the llamas before, but they're not very friendly, unfortunately. They're always in that corner, minding their own business. And there's also some pigs to see. There's some goats, chickens. I mean, there's chickens running about down here. I just love it. I love everything about it. And the scenery is spectacular. Like I say, you know, this isn't the kind of place you're going to come if you're a sort of beach person or you like to do a lot of shopping or that kind of thing. It's the kind of place you come to appreciate the, you know, nature and the scenery and go for a good walk and have a good meal at night, which that's what we enjoy, so that's what we do. Oh dear. I think he's needing to see the dentist, actually. Talking about the dentist, I was just there today, actually. I need a filling, guys. I need a filling. So they've put a temporary packing in just now, so it's taken the edge off the pain a wee bit. But it's still there, nagging away. And this is the wee farm shop. You know, they sell local cheeses, you know, local butter, artisan breads, pickles, chutneys, all that kind of thing that you'd expect to see. Free-range eggs, vegetables. These are all from the farm, which I love. I mean, if I was a local, I'd been here all the time. There's your eggs, half a dozen, £1.50, free-range, as fresh as you like. These are all your jams and chutneys and things. There's a wee tea room just through there. I don't know if you could see that. Wee cafe tea room. And lots of things to take away. They do souvenirs and things. There's all your local cheeses and butters and things. I actually got some butter to take home. Not from here. There's a local creamery where you can actually go in and buy the butter and cheese from the source. So we took some back. A wee horse here. I'm not sure if it was a horse or a pony. It might be a pony, actually. Lovely, anyway. Oh, this wee baby goat was absolutely gorgeous. I fell in love. I wanted to take him home, but I don't think they would like that. Beautiful. This is just some chickens I seen whilst I was out walking around, guys. And you don't get much more free range than this. And you see this wee one will run away in a second. He's a bit camera shy. There he goes. He's thinking, oh, not sure about you. And he's off. So that was berries. Like I say, not exactly a highlight, but somewhere we love to come. And this is Thirsk Birds of Prey Centre. We came here for the day, not really expecting much, to be honest, because I've never done this kind of thing before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But it was brilliant. It was a great day out. And I thought we might spend an hour here. I mean, we ended up spending quite a few hours here. And actually, you could go in. The first show in the morning is 11:30. You could actually stay here till 4:30 in the afternoon if you wanted. They've got 3 different shows, all featuring different birds. So this is the one that we caught when we were there. This is an American bald eagle, and it was absolutely massive. This one has got a wingspan of 8 feet, which is incredible. So powerful. And they also had some owls. I mean, they've got owls, they've got eagles, they've got vultures, they've got hawks, kestrels. They've got hundreds of birds you can actually see. But they only use 3 or 4 during their display, and they swap the birds round, you know. so that they're not getting too tired. This owl was absolutely beautiful. This is just a wee barn owl. I forget her name now. And this was one of the falconers. She was lovely. Just a local woman. She's actually had this place for 20 years. And this was the eagle. Or one of the eagles. Look at the size of him. I wouldn't like to come face to face with him if I was a wee bird. Absolutely awe-inspiring. Not a bad place in the world to live, I don't think, if you're a bird. All that natural open space. Beautiful. And you could actually get up, you know, close and personal if you wanted to have one land on you, but we weren't brave enough for that, so I was just standing behind one of the falconers trying to get a good shot for you guys. But they really are, they're beautiful in person. They're so well looked after. These people, you know, they've got a real passion for their birds and their welfare and their conservation, and yeah, they raise them like children, they really do. Some of the birds they get in, you know, she was explaining that they come in a sorry state and they've got to put them back together again, if you like. So yeah, so that was a great day. This is my wee lunch break. We actually stayed on to see the second show. So I grabbed a wee sandwich and a drink in the wee cafe that they've got there. Very impressive. Like I say, guys, if you're a nature lover or an animal lover, you would really enjoy this. And that's me. This is us in Hawes, another wee village near to where we were staying. And they've got some lovely scenery as well, some beautiful waterfalls and lovely quaint shops, independent shops and boutiques and chocolate shops. And there's a weekly market as well, if you want to go and stock up on your local produce. And some lovely wee cafes. So this is just one of the waterfalls. And lots of wee antique shops as well, which I love a wee rummage round about. You're kind of limited to what you can get though, because we come down by car, so you can't get too much. This is one of the wee local sweet shops. I mean, this is so traditional. I remember these wee sweet shops when I was growing up and going to school. You would take your pocket money in and get your sweeties. Jars and jars and jars of sweets. Very popular with the, you know, tourists, obviously. Yeah, so that was great. I just love seeing these kinds of old shops still going and still thriving. Handmade fudge, chocolates and truffles. This is the Pennygarth Cafe. Now this is legendary, a legendary place if you're in this neck of the woods. I mean, people come from all over to come here. You know, it's a very biker friendly cafe. And you'll see a lot of bikers here. We're actually going to come down on the bike the next time we come. We're actually, when we've seen all the bikes, we thought, oh, I wish I'd have brought the bike down. And one of the best milkshakes I think I've ever had. Let's see if the wee sheep will talk to us. They might run away though. I hope not, because they should be used to folk by now. Well, let's have a wee look. Oh, they're awful nice. See, they just wander about free here, guys. So you've got to be very careful if you're driving. Oh, there's wee ones. You know, if you're driving. Oh. Hello. Hello. Oh, he's not happy. Hello, wee friend. Oh, there they're coming. They're not going away. Oh. Oh no. These annoying tourists again. Hey guys. Hiya. They're so cute. Show you a bit of the Dales here, guys. The rolling hills. It's very blustery today, so I hope it's not too windy. This is just some of the scenery when we were out and about, having a wee drive. Now, I think this is absolutely breathtaking, and it's even more stunning in person. It really is. Just miles and miles of rolling hills. You know, it's so relaxing here. And like I say, if you appreciate this kind of thing, you know, you'd absolutely love it. If you want peace and quiet and tranquility, this is where you go. It's very much like the Isle of Arran in a lot of ways. You know, you've got the spectacular scenery and lots of wee villages, some cosy village pubs and, you know, all your quaint wee shops and things. And this is us in Thirsk, you know, birthplace of James Herriot, whose actual name was James Alfred Wright, OBE. You know, and again, if you're a fan of the TV series, All Creatures Great and Small, you'll be very familiar with this as well. And this is where we're going next. We actually went to the world of James Herriot. Now, if you're not a fan of the show, or if you're not really aware of who he is, then you might not find this next bit interesting at all. So feel free to skip through about 10 minutes, because it's really just a walk through his home. You know, James Herriot, like I say, his actual name was James Alfred Wright, who eventually got an OBE from the Queen. You know, he's a local legend and loved worldwide. You know, he was a veterinary surgeon and an author under the pseudonym, you know, James Herriot. He wrote about his days looking after animals when he was a vet, and obviously treating animals, and he was later the inspiration for the TV series, like I said, All Creatures Great and Small. You know, the majority of the series was filmed in the village of Askrigg, where we are staying. So if you're a fan of, you know, of the TV series, then you'll recognise the village right away. Yeah, I mean, we're big fans of the show, so it's quite surreal walking through his home. You know, this was his actual home, and it's laid out exactly as it would have been if, you know, when he lived there. He was born in 1916 and sadly passed away in 1995 at the good old age of 79. So let's have a nosy around his house. Now, obviously, like I said, if you're not a fan of the show, if you're not really aware of who he is, you might not find this bit interesting, so feel free to skip through about 10 minutes. So this would have been his obviously sitting room. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, I've got a few of you had mentioned to me, you know, why don't you get a Patreon up and running? And it wasn't something I ever thought of doing, but I've noticed that, you know, there are quite a lot of folk that are doing YouTube videos that have actually got Patreon accounts. So I went and had a wee look, and, you know, I looked into it a wee bit more. So now I've got my own Patreon account, guys. So if you want, I mean, don't feel as if you have to, but I'll pop the link down below in the description box if you want to go and have a look at my Patreon account. If you want to support the channel or support what I'm doing, you can get involved that way. So like I say, I'll pop it in the description box down below, and just pop on and have a wee look, and if you want to get involved, you can do. There are a couple of wee perks for getting involved, so it might be of interest to you if you're one of the guys, you know, who have mentioned to me about, you know, setting up a Patreon account. So yeah, have a wee look if you're interested. So this is an example of, you know, an actual air raid shelter, guys, and this was so eerie. Super eerie. You can just imagine the hell that people would have went through, you know, in the war. It must have been so frightening. And you hear the air raid siren and the warning siren, and you've got to get into safety. So this is what typically it would have looked like. You know, it's super basic, but you've got everything here that you need. You've got your bed, and round the corner you'll see in a wee second where they kept their provisions and their sort of canned goods, because obviously they didn't know how long they were going to be down here for. Yeah, it must have been super frightening. But also comforting to know that you've got somewhere to go if you need to be safe.
This is the BBC Home Service for mothers and children.
I can only imagine what it was like. So this is all the things that they would have needed. All the basics. And things like this I find really interesting as well. You know, what sort of things were they using? What canned goods did they have? Did they look different to what we've got now? And, you know, I just love all that. I'm so nosy. I was surprised to see, though, a lot of the cans are very similar to the way they are now, though. You know, in the supermarkets. There's not that much difference. Which is quite surprising, given how old this stuff is. I mean, this is all original.
The warning may also be given by short blasts on police.
I just remember at this point I was dying to get out of here actually, because I was down here on my own. Nobody else wanted to come down. 2 feared, big scaredy cats. And this would have been an original paper from the time as well. Obviously the headline in the front, Battle of Britain, yeah. So let's get out here and get back upstairs. Oh, excuse me. And this would have been one of the rooms where they kept the pills and this is the dispensary, where they kept all their supplies and things for their veterinary use. Quite cramped actually for the amount of stuff that's in there. I don't think it would be anything like that these days. Probably a bit more organised, I'd have thought. Although, to be fair, it probably is pretty well organised. And this I found quite strange. Yeah, the breakfast room, their sort of chilling out room, if you like. On the TV, they've actually got playing an episode of the All Creatures Great and Small on the TV, which I thought was quite, it was quite clever. I had to do a double take. I said, is it? I said, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's an episode of the TV programme. Then moving down to the room that I found the most interesting was the kitchen and scullery. And again, you've got loads of original tinned and boxed items that they would have used back in the day. And this is an old aga. I'd love an aga, but they're actually quite expensive. And you can't control or regulate the temperature. It's just roasting hot all the time. You'll find these in most sort of farmhouse kitchens though. Out in the country. And all their old utensils and old crockery, and the table's laid just as it would have been for breakfast, I think. I think they've got boiled eggs on there and that sort of thing. So it would have been, I imagine, set up for breakfast. And again, all your old cans and bottled and tinned goods. Old bread bin there. Yeah, I could spend at least an hour in here. Really could. Just scrutinising everything. An old ledger there as well. Something else I'd like to have a good shuffle through. But I didn't like to touch too many things because I wasn't really sure what I could and couldn't touch. So I didn't want to, in case I tore something. Even these old sinks and things, and yeah. I think that's a Belfast sink, I think that's called. Those deep ones. The old clothes and the ironing board. Look at the ironing board. Can you imagine ironing anything on there? It must have been so difficult. All your old soaps and washboard. Ah dear. I love it. So this was the man himself. Like I said, his actual name was James Alfred Wright, but he did use, a pseudonym, which was James HERRIOT. So if you get into the bookstore, that's the name you'll see on his books. This was some characters from the TV show. We're now in Kendal. Now this is famous for its mint cake. We didn't actually see any, which was quite peculiar. But I just thought I'd give you a wee quick look round. We didn't spend very long here. We're just here for a couple of hours. But the scenery again was spectacular. This was just out the back of a shopping centre, and I seen this at the end. I thought, oh, I must get that, because I thought it was really pretty. And you find lots of these wee alleyways and sort of back street sort of places of interest. And I found this old cinema. Now, how old does this look? And it was actually showing Mamma Mia, which I found, very interesting. And this was us on the way out. I didn't capture too much here. Like I say, there wasn't that much to see. There were lots of high street shops and things, but nothing out of the ordinary. And I think that was it. Yeah, this is us going home. So it was a very rainy day, heading back to sunny Scotland. We had a fabulous time. We absolutely loved it. I think that's the longest we've actually spent down here. That was nearly a week. We generally only go for maybe 2 or 3 days, but we said the next time we go we'll spend a bit longer there because, yeah, we just like to soak up the atmosphere. And coming up any minute you'll see the Welcome to Scotland sign, so that way you know you're back. That's just on the border between England and Scotland. So there we go. And that's us home. So like I said, yeah, we absolutely loved it. So thank you very much for hanging on to the end of the video, guys, if you've chosen to do so. And remember to check out my wee Patreon page, which I'll link down below if you're interested. And also coming up, I've made some chicken Chinese takeaway style spring rolls. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm also going to be attempting a homemade doner kebab, which I absolutely love. And I've never tried this recipe before, so it'll be interesting to give that a go. And that'll be going on my takeaway inspired playlist as well, if you're interested in that. So that's it. So take care of yourselves. And once again, thank you very much for popping over and seeing what's going on. And so until next time, take care of yourselves and I'll see you then. Bye for now. Bye now.